Hello, how are you guys? My name is Raul Gonzalez the Third, or Raul the Third. You can call me whatever you'd like. And I am talking to you all the way from Boston, Massachusetts, where I have been living for the past 15 years, so a very long time now. I have a few questions that you have asked me that I am very happy to answer. The first one is, have you illustrated books or graphic novels before? The truth of the matter is that Lowriders in Space is the very first professionally published graphic novel that I have illustrated. But before Lowriders in Space, I drew hundreds of comic book pages. And I would self-publish those comic books in the form of what is known as a zine. A zine is a self-published book made with copy machines, folded sheets of paper, and staples. And so I would make these, and I would send them to all of the people that I admired or people that were my friends, trade them for other zines, so on and so forth. This is one by my good friend Dave Ortega. He made this all by himself. So by the time I got to Lowriders in Space, I was ready to go. Number two, what other visual art forms have you done? I've done a lot of different things. I've painted murals. I've exhibited my artwork in galleries and museums. I've even designed rock and roll posters. And sometimes I've traded my drawing skills for food. Like whenever I design a menu for a restaurant, they'll give me a year's supply worth of food. So you can't beat that. Question number three. Why did you illustrate Lowriders in Space with ballpoint pen only? The reason is because Lowriders in Space is about three characters, Lupe, Elerio, and Flapjack Octopus, and they used only the materials they had at hand to make their lowrider. So sometimes they even found stuff in la basura, the trash. And so when I was a boy, I had no idea what art materials were. I didn't know anything about archival this or that. But what I did have were my ballpoint pens. So red, blue, and black were the materials I used to train myself with. And I know that you guys back at home, you probably have these types of pens lying around on your desks or in your parents' kitchen table. And sometimes you might even find a few ballpoint pens on the floor with strange business names on them, like Lupe's Taqueria or Group Insurance Services of Texas, you know, things like that. And you could draw anything you want with them. So go for it, all right? Number four, did growing up in Texas contribute to this book? You now live in Massachusetts. I still have a hard time saying that. It's a long word. Is there any Massachusetts parts in this book? Well, growing in El Paso did contribute a lot to the drawings in Lowriders in Space. Like right from the get-go, page number 2, you could see them riding through the city, and there you'll see the El Paso Civic Center. You'll see the Thunderbird on the Franklin Mountain. You'll see the Happy Foot, Sad Foot sign that I used to love when I was a little boy. And then there are other little things that influenced me about Texas, like especially the Southwest, like the plants, los nopales, the rocks, some things that I would learn about on TV, like Mario Moreno Cantinflas. He became Cartinflas, on and on and on. I could probably write a list as long as my arm with all of the different ways that Texas influenced Lowriders in Space. As for Massachusetts, absolutely. The folk art wing in the Museum of Fine Arts was always a big inspiration, and I love the do-it-yourself attitude from the early folk artists in the United States, and I think I carry a lot of that with me, especially when I work on projects like Lowriders in Space and my own artwork for galleries and museums. Number 5, what advice would you give young illustrators and artists as they learn to improve their skills? Well, that is, for me, the funnest part is improving skills, because all that it takes is drawing. And here's a good example of how much drawing I do. This stack here, you see that? that stack is filled with page after page of drawings for Lowriders to the Center of the Earth, which is book number 2. And I had to draw 8 to 10 hours a day to get that book done. But before that, I would draw 8 to 10 hours a day for fun. And that's the way that you become a great artist, a great scientist, a great writer, is by dedicating your time to the thing that you're most interested in. I tend to start everything before I start a big book. I try to fill up sketchbooks just like this one with little drawings. And sometimes these drawings don't lead to anything, but it's the way that I keep exercising. It's just like working out for me, is creating drawings like this in my sketchbook. So if you want to become a great artist, practice as much as you can. On that note, my friends, it was so great to talk to you, and I hope to meet some of you in the near future. And I know that I'll be down in Texas to visit my parents, and hopefully along the way see some of you in your classrooms. Hasta luego, amigos. Bye bye.